Folks, the Georgia chapter of the Sons of Confederate Veterans is suing a state park over its plan to create an exhibit addressing slavery, segregation, and white supremacy. The lawsuit focuses on racist Stone Mountain, which features a monument depicting racist Confederate President Jefferson Davis, white domestic terrorist General Robert E. Lee, as well as white domestic terrorist racist Thomas Stonewall Jackson, all on horseback. The monument was carved in 1915. In 2021, the Stone Mountain Memorial Association voted to relocate the Confederate flags at the monument and to build a, quote, truth-telling exhibit. This exhibit aims to inform visitors about the site's role in the revival of the Ku Klux Klan and its segregationist roots. It will also discuss how Confederate groups, including the Sons of Confederate Veterans, promoted the racist lost cause ideology, which portrays slavery as a positive institution. The Sons of Confederate Veterans argue that relocating the Confederate flags violates Georgia law and that altering the monuments to fit the present political climate is illegal. They believe these charged changes are an attack on their history and show disrespect for Confederate soldiers. Okay, first of all, last I checked, they're not altering the monument, even though yours truly believes blow that shit up. But to say that you have a visitor area telling the truth, Mustafa, I don't know what the problem is, because that's not altering the monument. It's actually showing, as Paul Harvey would say, now the rest of the story.
Yeah, and that's the point right there. You know, there's fear in truth, especially for those who know they're coming from a dark place. They're coming from a place of misinformation and disinformation. And we need to be able to set the record straight. And people have a problem with that because they want to create their own narrative, even when it is a false narrative. So, you know, I hope that folks continue to move forward on making sure that everybody who visits has a real understanding of, you know, all the trauma that was a part of slavery and the truth about what it really was. Because if you don't do that, then people will, you know, continue to paint it in a picture that is not what our people actually experienced.
Cannot stand, Larry, truth. What they still want is white his story and not truthful history.
Yeah, Roland, we need to make it real clear about, you know, when I think about my enslaved ancestors, what they had to endure, the trauma, the rape, etc. No, we need to tell the truth. I mean, isn't that what the country's all about today? We're about truth telling, right? So you have to. This country struggles with its history. And, you know, I always tell people I'm first generation post Jim Crow. When we used to have these conversations, it's not that long ago in terms of we can have conversations with individuals who were enslaved Africans. And so, yeah, the atrocities that these organizations in the Confederacy committed against enslaved Africans needs to be made clear. Their history, why they chose what they did, the years after that, in terms of, like you talked about, the KKK and these other organizations that, you know, traumatized Black communities for decades, they all need to be called on the carpet for what they did. And if you're an active member of the organization, you need to face what your ancestors did, and the fact that also that you're still involved in this organization that once again upholds what the Confederacy did is some kind of, shining example when they once again traumatized Black people for decades. So no, we needed something that was completely honest, and we needed a nice big poster or something right next to all those figures.
Tyler, it's real simple for me. These folks despise the fact that we actually got an opportunity to read. They despise the fact that we now are in positions of power, and they despise the fact that racist white men no longer control everything. And so they're going to have to suck it up. And I think they're going to lose this lawsuit because they're lying. The monument is not being changed. Having a visitor center right next to it, nothing wrong with that. So bring it.
Absolutely. I saw a quote this week that that said, offended by everything, ashamed of nothing, entitled to everything, but contributing to nothing. And I think when I think about, these symbols, they aren't just mere history. They're ongoing living patriarchy, racism, and omission, especially in states like Georgia. And I think the lawsuit is more than just like a legal maneuvering that they're trying to get around, but it's a fight over memory. It's a fight over power and those whose stories get to be told and honored. And this monument is a living insult that legitimizes white supremacy. And I think real equity demands that removing these public, honors for oppression and oppressors, and telling the full, and as we said, the full and honest truth. We must, stand up to it and and be present in this moment to ensure that they're trying to erase our history, but we must be stand firm in how our history is being told.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.